Hey, you have tuned in to the Bernard Williams Stay in Your Lane Show podcast. And tonight we got a special guest. I am your host, 2000 Olympic champion Bernard Williams, and we have a special guest tonight. We are on episode 29. That's right, episode 29 tonight. Once you get in here. What up, Hoodie?
Yes, sir. You already know what's happening, big homie.
What's going on, brother?
Everything good. Hold on, let me see if I put this way if it's better.
Yeah,
Can you hear me
man.
good?
The champ is here.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Perfect.
Man,
What's
man.
happening?
So tell us, man. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna just go right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor. It is my privilege. It is my duty to announce this 2008 Olympic champion and good friend of mine, world champion, entrepreneur, professional, motivator, mentor. This is none other than Lashawn Merritt.
What's happening? What's
Yeah,
up, everybody? What's today? On a Wednesday night.
Yeah, man. So tell us, man, who is Lashawn Merritt?
Lashawn Merritt is a kid from Portsmouth, Virginia, son of Brenda and Owen Merritt. Was raised with respect and the will to win, and he ended up putting a formula together, both mentally and physically, that was able to inspire and let his light shine through hard work and dedication, man. And he was one of the best in the world at one time. He's a son.
I still think you can go out there and get that medal.
Man, I had this toe surgery. After that toe surgery, it was hard for me.
Yeah.
But I got it here. I just feel like I could close my eyes and get it. That's the muscle memory.
Man, now see, I know that you've been gifted genetically, right?
Yeah.
Did your mom and pop, did they participate in sports?
Neither one of them. My mom
Really?
was a nurturer, where growing up everything was about me having fun. So there was never any stress. My dad, he say I got the genes from him, but he never played sports. He was a cool guy. He was just real cool. So I got the coolness, but didn't really care about it from him. And I got just that nurturing, able to be in the moment and be calm and be humble from my mom's.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Now, do you have any hidden talents we don't know about, like artistry or?
So I grew up, my dad is a musician. He sings, he plays the drums. My aunt on my dad's side used to travel and sing gospel when especially when they started, when Tyler Perry first started doing those stage plays and everybody was doing plays. My dad would participate, my aunt would participate, my godmom, who's my aunt on my dad's side, plays the organ. So I have this musical bone from my dad's side. And fifth grade through the 12th grade, I played the trumpet and the tuba and the baritone, so I could read treble clef.
So you telling me you being a musician probably helped with your breathing and winning that Olympic gold?
Absolutely, man. Because we were taught how to circular breathe, where you can kind of blow a note and kind of hold it and circulate through here, from the breathing to the rhythm, understanding cadence.
Nice.
And everything. So one of the things I used to do, I used to wear the sweatsuit on purpose to hear, when I'm warming up, to hear the swish, 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 swish,
rhythm,
to hear that cadence, to make sure I was on. So all that stuff is playing a part, man. But definitely the breathing.
Wow. Now, I know track and field is your bread and butter. That's your thing. Yeah. But did you have a favorite sport? You like your first love sport?
Baseball.
Track? Baseball. You know what? The way you wear your hat, it says everything. It says everything.
I was a baseball player, man. I started baseball when I was 6 years old. And my brother played baseballs, and he was 5 years older than me. So I kind of followed his footsteps through life. And I like baseball. I pitched. I played shortstop. So that was my first love. I don't have a favorite baseball team, but baseball was my thing.
Man, that's crazy, yo. Like, I did not know this. See, this is the cool part about doing interviews. You're like, yo, Rick, you thought you knew this brother. No, man, I'm getting to know you today, man.
Good,
So
man.
when you played the trumpet, did you have any inspirations, like certain musicians? Like lately, since I've gotten older, I've been listening to Miles Davis and Dizzy Gillespie.
Those my guys.
Okay.
You know, to the point where my brother played trumpet. My dad played more of a, growing up, I can remember him in the living room with an amplifier and his guitar, just playing notes. Then my brother started playing the trumpet. I started playing the trumpet. My brother was a big fan of Miles Davis. And I became a fan. You know, it's so crazy. Today on my live, I posted an album of Miles Davis. It calms me, man. And even when I started running track as a professional, I didn't listen to any music, like hype music. I listened to jazz, actually. Yeah. So I never had any kind of hype, hype songs. It was all jazz.
Right. And you can see it because when you run with a certain rhythm.
With a certain rhythm.
Like, one of my favorite jazz songs is by Miles Davis. It's called "So What" with John Coltrane. And I can picture you running with that song. That is cool, man. Now I have an athlete that went to East Carolina. He played baseball. His name is Josh Moylan, and now he's been drafted by the New York Yankees.
Okay, so, congratulations for that.
Man, thank you, man. But he tells me, like, East Carolina, like, yo, the Pirates, man, he go down there to kick butt, take names, yo.
That's it, man.
Did you think about playing baseball when you was down there your freshman year?
You know, when I started running track in high school, it was during baseball season, I believe. So I stopped playing. I played baseball from like 6 years old up until high school. Wow. Then I stopped. And then I started playing football a little bit, and the team wasn't good. And I was in the band, and I played football, so I would like have to be at band practice. Sometimes I would do both, like halftime. Right. I would play a little bit in my uniform. I remember playing one time in my football uniform.
Bro.
It was crazy.
They're like, yo. Oh, man, that is cool, bro.
But I love East Carolina, man. I wasn't at ECU for long, but I got there. A story I don't know if a lot of people know either was my 12th grade year. I was #1 in the U.S. I had won World Juniors in the 400.
This was 2005, 2004, right?
2004. So obviously I can go to any school. East Carolina was 3 hours away. And before I even started running track, my brother, 5 years older than me, was one of the guys who, when I was hitting home runs or getting on base or stealing base or making touchdowns, he would give me $5 here, whatever here he sold, little whatever he did on the side, so he had a little extra money for me. Right. So, which is something I do with my nephew now, just kind of that thing. But going into ECU, my brother got murdered his freshman year in college.
Oh, man.
So he went to Shaw University, and he never even got a chance to see me run, which is crazy. And he was such a bigger light than I am, from ladies' man to whatever he was doing on the side to class clown to the whatever, right? And I didn't want to go that far away from home.
Right. So condolences, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So not wanting to go too far from home, I picked East Carolina, and I was already, I had a great relationship with the coach. I was wearing Nike at the time in high school, just like I had never worn Adidas, and their program was Adidas. So he told me if I came there, he would switch the whole program to Nike, right? So I went, And this was November, September, October, and I went and I ended up turning pro in like February.
Man, God
Yeah.
is good. Yo.
Yeah, but I
Hey,
enjoyed
and you ran
ECB.
for Nike.
Yeah, and I stayed with Nike. Yeah, he was a
Right.
little mad, but it was cool. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Man.
Yep.
Now, what was one of your biggest challenges, like as far as like injury or mentally?
Injury wise, 2012, right? 2011 was,
The hamstring tweak.
that was 2012.
Yeah.
2011, I was diving with Karani across the line and at World Championships. I was #2 in the world 2011. So 2012, I was coming back to say, okay, I'm
Yeah.
ready. And I had an undefeated season that year. I had won
Yeah.
Olympic trials. I had won the
Yeah. The
meets
fastest
before.
time in the world.
Yep. And maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Olympics, we ran in Monte Carlo. My favorite place
Monaco.
to run. Yeah. Favorite place to run. I
Yeah.
remember getting out well. I got down the back street. I was feeling good. And I got in that curve and I felt a cramp in my hamstring.
Mm.
And I decided to cycle again and I just stopped. And it was a small tear I had in my hamstring. I went to London to try to, I was doing hyperbaric chambers for like 6-7 hours a day. I
Mm.
was getting cold laser done. I was doing all kind of stuff, but the first round I couldn't make it around. I could have stayed and enjoyed it, but I think the next day I hopped on a plane. I told my agent I'm ready to get up out of here so I can get this healed as soon as possible so
Yeah.
I can come back next year and handle business. And end up winning 13.
Yeah.
And then
Now
had an
it's
undefeated
crazy.
season in
Like, and you
14.
overcame that, right?
Yeah,
And then you got another medal the next Olympics.
yeah, yeah,
So, you know, I mean, we're going to say it's faith, right?
yeah.
But what was, other than the hyperbarics, like what was it? What did you do mentally to get back into like medal contention? You know, how did you get right back and really like? Because sometimes when after you injure yourself, sometimes you
Right.
kind of hold back because you don't want to hurt it again. Like,
Right.
what did you do mentally to kind of get back to medal contention?
Uh, I made sure I understood the process that I was going through and that it took to get back to 100% when it happened. So I
Mm.
knew the first step was to get as much treatment as done as soon as possible, and then start your rehab as soon as possible. And with knowing 13, there was still a world championship, and with knowing that the sport is all about being your best self, because everybody's not going to be #1 in the world. Every day is not going to be the best day, but if you can prepare and get yourself ready for when it's time to do whatever, you've set yourself up to be your best self in moments.
Mm.
So, and luckily I had great people around me. Dr. Pascal was a chiropractor I take with me all the time. So I spent time in his office, just different therapy. But from a mental state, I never get too high or too low anyway. You know, when I win these things on this high level and people see it as maybe a 10 on a level of achievements, I've always wrote it at like a 7 or 8, meaning I'm grateful for what I've done and appreciate the gifts I've been given me and the ability to focus and stay locked in. But
Mm.
it's all about getting it done again. So I
Right.
take even the highest achievements, grateful, but all lessons for something next, something greater.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
who inspired you when you were younger? Like when you was a
hmm
young kid, like coming up, starting the 400. Who
hmm
inspired you? That's older than you
Right.
that you used to watch.
Uh, the weird thing is I didn't start running the 400 until my junior year in high school,
Mm.
and before that, I didn't really watch track.
Oh
I didn't
snap!
even know about the sport for real. It was
Wow.
football. I didn't even know you could do it. So, and I started running the 400 my junior year because the football coach was a track coach. So he made the football team run track, and
Yeah.
nobody wanted to
Shouts
run.
out. Shouts out to the football coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then it became the 400 who nobody liked to run that. And it was like, he was cussing us out. Yeah, but real men run the 400, this and that. And I said, man, I'll run it.
Somebody
And
said
that one time I
Woodrow.
said,
Somebody said Woodrow Wilson.
that's the high school I went to. Okay, we got
Hey,
some.
yeah,
Yeah, and I said I'll run it, man, and
yeah.
it became more natural and than any other sport I did. I played baseball, football, but those are all team sports. And when I ran that 400, I won. I didn't run that fast, but I was like, I'm naturally better than a lot of these guys in this. So
Right.
let me stay on this. The coach was like, you could do this, you could be this, you could be this. I had great people around me.
Yeah.
I kept a core group around me who always poured into me, from my household to my coaches to my friends. Like, I still have the friends I had back then, and they still pour into me as if we were in high school, man. They love me to death. I love them to death. But the inspiration, because I turned pro 3 years after running the event, 2 years. I started my junior year. I turned pro my freshman year, right? I had never seen the Olympics before that,
Right.
which is crazy.
Right.
And when I came in, I studied Michael Johnson.
There we go. I was waiting on it.
Yeah, I studied Mike. And the reason I studied Mike is because I felt like we were built the same. We were muscular guys.
6'2".
Both of us had good turnover.
Yes.
Both of us had that speed type quarter mile. And he was the one out there at that time who was that guy. And Jeremy was dominating at that time. So I studied him too to beat him. That was to study him to beat him, though.
Right. Now, look, I know you got the gold, you got the silver, you got the bronze, but can you take us through that gold medal race?
Gold medal,
2008. When the gun go off, the gun go off like, pow. Take us
gun
through.
go off, man. I'm thinking, get to the top of the curve. Get to the top of the curve. Push. Use the ATP. Don't be afraid to use it. Just use it. I get there, and it's all about body checks. See, when you already come in at a certain level, it's all about those small details at that point. So I knew I had the heart, I had the will to win, I had the preparation, but now it was just a matter of executing all these small things. So gun go off, I get to 60, I feel good, using my body like I need to. I pick up my extra man coming around that curve, which is just using the body, using the arms a little bit, because the arms is rhythm. I knew the arms was rhythm.
That's that jazz music.
That what is it? The arms is balance, rhythm, and force. So coming around the curve, I knew I had to use these in the right way. Man, when I got down the back stretch, I felt so good. It was all about just stepping. Let's get down this back. I didn't hear anything. It was just, let's step through this. I knew where my march was because I had ran the race before. I had walked the track. I knew who was in the lane. I known how they ran their first round and their second round. I knew what lane they was in. So I was comfortable in that lane, in that space, with everything around me and the track. So it was just a matter of going out and handling business at this point. So get down the back stretch.
Did you know you was going to win?
No. I knew I was ready to bring my best self.
Right.
I knew that. I knew my body felt good. I knew mentally I was in a space where I wasn't stressed. Coach and I had amazing workouts before that. The rounds went great. I studied the rounds, so I knew kind of what to expect from other people. At this point, it was just who was going to bring the biggest heart. But I was there to win.
He said, don't be afraid to use the ATPs. Now, you said you're going down the back stretch, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm listening. So you're going down the back stretch, right?
So I'm going down the back stretch, and I had raced all these guys before. So it was like, I got to own this. I got to have this. I'm getting down the back stretch. I'm moving. When I get around the curve, I remember 150 to go, body check. Now try to make this look pretty as possible coming home, which means relax as possible, but give the energy like you ready, like you trying to win this.
Yeah.
So it was all formed. That's why I was so formed up coming off the curve and coming off the straightaway. I knew at any moment Jeremy had the ability to just pull up on me. I knew it.
Right.
At any moment he had the ability to just come and run right by me. So I was thinking, come off the curve, focus on running downhill and keep the fundamentals.
Mm.
Go to the basics. Go to the basics, which was keeping my chin down, keeping my arms open, filling the track, not bouncing up and down, keeping a lean. And halfway down, I was able to look at the Jumbotron. And when I saw I was way out in front, I said, well, I did this right. I handled this. Oh,
nice.
Which ended up being a special moment. Now that I think about it, I never dreamed of like winning the Olympics until I actually was training for it. I didn't grow up in this sport. Right. So it wasn't a thing that, oh, I need to win the Olympics. And I felt like it was going to be this huge thing. I knew it was big in the sport. It was the pinnacle of the sport. Right. But I took it like every other race.
Right.
And I mean, I knew the magnitude, but I didn't allow myself to get too outside of myself that I couldn't stay within myself.
Nice.
And I handled it, man.
Yeah, yo, you champ.
Hey, and across the finish line, and the crazy thing made it, it's like, okay, I'm champion. Now I really got work to do, because now everybody gunning for me now. But I didn't. I took that on. You know, I realized I won it for a reason. I did put the work in it. This is something I've been blessed to be able to not only have the DNA for and prepare in a certain way for, but to be able to execute in the moment, which is a unique thing. So it had to be special some kind of way.
Right. Now, would you consider this your most memorable moment, or what was your most memorable moment on the pro level?
Most memorable would be 2000 and that one, because it was my first one.
Yeah.
First Olympic Games. My coach was a guy from Norfolk, Virginia. I was from a small town in Portsmouth, Virginia, and I was up to face the giants of the 400, which was Michael
Olympic
Johnson,
champions, world champions,
and world record holders. So Jeremy Warner at that point, his mentor was Michael Johnson, who was the world record holder, and his coach was Clyde Hart, who was the guru of the 400. So I'm this small guy from Portsmouth going against the history of that event.
Yeah, shouts out to Coach D, man.
Definitely, man, definitely. So to be able to handle that with those opponents, with that group, and win, that was special. Man. That was special.
It was cool. It was a pleasure to watch, because I was watching on my TV. I was like, I know him. That's my dog right there, son. Yo, but I never knew that you had studied Michael Johnson. Now I think about your running style, very similar. Yeah. You know, and you both were fast in the 200 too. But now, if you really had a chance to concentrate on the 200, what time do you think you would have really ran? I think you went 19.8, bro.
Right. I think I
was it 19.7?
I went 1970 something at one point, but never trained for it. Even
that's what I'm saying. What do you think you could have ran?
Being realistic, I think I could have went like 19.4 or 5. I only say that because I never did a lot of speed endurance. Right. So when I think about speed endurance, I mean, some coaches I did. Lawrence Seagrave I did. Dwayne I did some. But with training for that too, I feel like if I would have had more speed endurance, I would have been able to stay in a sprint position longer. Because I ran the 400 and trained the 400 in so much rhythm, I get upright like this and just turn the wheels over. Yeah. Opposed to handling some hard 250s, hard 180, 150, 120, and learning how to stay in that angle and hold that angle. I think if I would have did that and knew how to do that, or dial it in so much that, and maybe the coaches were scared to give me that because they thought I was going to use it on the backstretch and then mess my race up. Because sometimes I would run a fast 200, but then I would mess the backstretch of the 200 up sometimes. I'll get into too much of a
Right.
sprint deal and take my cadence out. But I think around 19.5.
I can see that, bro.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that all day.
And doing curve work and actually understanding the curve and everything. So I was 400-meter runner. That's one of the things I wish I would have did more, but I've always had a toe issue. Every time I did a lot of curve work, my toe would bother me.
Yeah, that's centrifugal force.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because when I first came in, I was told that I was supposed to wear the spike like a glove. It's supposed to fit tight. But as I got older in my career, it was all about being able to use the toes a little bit. Yeah, have some space because you use the toes. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. But it's nothing but greatness, bro. So who was like in your successful career? Who was your the most, like, how can I put it? The one who gave you a challenge every time you got up. Who was that? Your favorite competitor that you knew you had to be ready for? That one guy. That one guy. Out of you said, man, I got to get ready. I can't. Who was that one guy? Was it Jeremy Warner? Was it Karani? Was it Newkirk? Like, which one?
I'm trying to think which one. It was definitely Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Definitely Jeremy. I would think Jeremy or Karani. I mean, Karani and I battled also, but Jeremy could lay 43.5 out on you.
Yeah.
And, like he'll pull away from you if you're not ready. Like he'll embarrass you. Like, but he ran that way, right? Which was one of the reasons why in 2008 when it came to the 4x4, I had won the 400, and I knew it was going. All things going well with each leg, we was set up to win the 4x4. It was me, Angelo Taylor, who had won 400 hurdles. We had Jeremy. We had Dave Neville. Yeah. So my thing was, I'm not a runner who go out and just get blasted, right?
Right.
I've always I saw the sport. I never wanted to be a household name. This type of stuff. I saw the sport as like this business. So if I could run a race and run and win as easy as possible to get to the next race throughout my career and make my money, that was my thing. I wasn't trying to run these crazy fast times. So when it came to the 4x4, I said, look, if we got a chance to get any type of record or whatever, I want to run first leg. Let Jeremy get at the end and run his heart out if he want to, like he do. And I got more TV time with first leg. So
because normally the anchor, the Olympic champ, always brings it home.
Yeah, but we was in a position where if we were gonna go for a record, I know these guys. I knew he was gonna be able to hammer it coming down the last 100. If it was just him by himself, we was out by himself. He was just gonna go get it, and I feel like I could go get it too, but that's not how I kind of ran before in my regular. So I ain't wanna. I say, I'll just do my deal first leg and let y'all handle it, man. And we got gold.
Congratulations, man, bringing the golds home many years, the silvers and the bronze. You got all of them, yo. I think you're probably the only 400-meter runner to have all of the medals in 3 different Olympics.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I'm for real. Either because if Michael Johnson, he did it, but it was all golds. But I'm talking about all the medals.
Oh, gold. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like Butch Reynolds, maybe Butch Reynolds. But I have to do my research. Possibly.
But, man, you the man too, man. You got all these medals too now.
You
OG.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. But this is your interview.
I respect it, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. So now that you are inspiring the youth, tell us about your organization.
So I got a couple of things going on, man. I have my foundation, which is the Lashawn Merritt Foundation, where I've had over the years, I've worked with people, I've started working with people, but just recently, I'm getting back into this group of people, and we're focusing on resources, a holistic approach, mind, body, and soul to success and to life, inspiring, motivating. I've always did that with the kids. Like I said, my mom's in the school system, so I've always did that. But now, outside of the sport, I see how much of an influence I am all around. So I'm still focused on the kids with giving them resources, giving them hope, the inspiration. I see how I touch them when I come into a room, how they light up. So they recognize my light, right? And I understand how important character is, especially at a young age. Character has taken me far, it's put me in rooms I never could imagine, right? So to be that person of character to kids, it matters to me, you know. And I had people who believed in me when I was younger, and that spark of belief, man, can take you a long way. So I'm pushing that narrative with the foundation, and I'm also doing speaking. I just got into a room of speaking. I'm learning the language. I've got with some great people. It's something that I didn't feel like I had experience with, but I've been doing it all my life with interviews and talking to kids and inspiring. But I was so close to it that I didn't see the magnitude. I was doing it just because, and maybe I was just called to do it. That they was set up that way, that all my life I was talking and inspiring, and just a lot of it just from telling my story. But now with the speaking, there needs to be some structure, and I'm turning it into a business. So I got to learn the language and take the same approach almost as I took with the sport of track and field. You know, I had a formula I developed here for success. And with the track and field, just the DNA put me at a level. Then I had to create this formula here to get those small things that made a big difference. But I realized in that, Bennett, I've done something unique and people see it in a way. I step into that lane already with some DNA almost because of what I've done, right?
Absolutely.
So they look at it that way. So now it's just a matter of me making different things and the way I took it relate to certain audiences, man. So second job I've ever had that I feel like I'll get paid for. Track and field was the only one. So now I'm kind of it's just getting into this speaking realm. And I'm doing speed camps.
Yes.
I kind of got this guy was with Nike, and I'm partnering with him to do speed camps and give back that way. With coaching, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I have 6 nieces and nephews, but I'm not in a position right now where I feel like I want to coach kids every day and be that father figure and be that mentor. But I do have things to give and inspire. So I'm going to do those, and through the foundation, do these camps in the inner cities for free. So just trying to work it, man, find out who I am, what I like to do, because the whole sport of track and field, the inspiration behind that was for my brother, Ben, and he didn't get a chance to live out anything really in his life. So now that that's over, I pour everything into that. After the sport, I dealt with an identity crisis because it's like, okay, who am I? What do I like? I did that for him. But then I realized that I have done a lot, and it's all about serving at the end of the day. So if I can serve and be of service to the world by showing them how I handled a situation that was so unique that made me the best in the world, and they can take something from that, I'm all for it.
Nice.
All for it, man.
Well said. But I mean, I know you're a force to be reckoned with, man. Do you think, well, today I read on Sha'Carri Richardson, right?
Okay.
She was talking about how the USA track and field and how they don't pay the athletes. Do you feel professional track athletes should be paid?
Absolutely. I definitely feel like they do. I feel like it's one of the sports that it's a contact sport. The amount of force you apply on the ground, man, you can leave training and feel like you got hit by a bus.
Right.
The accountability it's crazy. The accountability it takes. I think the thing is, there's so many levels to being a pro in the sport, opposed to you make it to the NBA, you're on a team, or NFL, you're on a team, and you can be on a team and be on the bench and make $10 million a year, $5 million a year at this thing, and
Facts.
you never even get in the game.
Facts.
And we show up and put our bodies through this stress, physically, mentally, daily, and get peanuts compared to that.
Facts.
They do, man. I think they should get paid more. I think they should be marketed more, advertised more. I think the people that's had a lot of success in the sport in the U.S. should be noticed more, appreciated more. And it's fun. It's crazy because when you do step in the room, they appreciate it, but there's not from the I don't know what it is. It's I don't know if it's the marketing or what, but I definitely feel like at the top level, we are just as competitive and we work as hard and as blessed just as much as these other sports. 24 hours, it's 24 hours a day training, whereas you train half the day and the rest and recovery is just as important as the training. So that's 24 hours.
Right. Well, I think a solution, I'm on the outside. See, I don't got no contract, so I could talk my noise, you know. I think that the money that they get from the medal count, that should be split between the athletes. The athletes don't get paid any of that money. And I think they got like 700 million, I believe.
From the medal counts?
From the medal counts, close to
that
700 million. Yes. Now, I'm not going to disclose my resources.
Okay.
but that is the number that I'm hearing. And so they say when you run for your country, you run for your country and you do it for the love and the red, white, and blue. But I feel that all of the athletes, and that's in every country, they should get a piece of, or some of that, or half of that $700 million.
I agree.
And yeah, that's one of the solutions. The other one, I think we should get full dental.
I agree.
Benefits. If we got arthritis, that author be calling.
No,
we
absolutely.
got arthritis and tendinitis. I think they should be able to cover us for life. I know that I'm reaching right now, but I think if you ever ran for Nike, you should get a lifetime of Nike gear.
especially if you got
a
highest level.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
You should get a lifetime of Nike.
Or something when you're done. Something when you're done with them. Something when you're done with them.
But I kind of got to shut up because I signed an Adidas contract after. I kind of messed up the relationship.
I was Nike all my life, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but there is nothing afterwards.
Right.
I mean, it's just what it is, right?
I think we should get that, like the stuff that Allen Iverson got and Shaq, like they still have a brand. They still put them as like president of Reebok. Now, I know nobody's wearing Reebok right now, but the point is, when you think about Allen Iverson, I hope he's still getting a lifetime of gear because he stay fresh.
Yeah, hometown guy.
And Virginia, right? Virginia, man. So yeah, man, that's what I think that some of the solutions should be for some of our track athletes. And Sha'Carri, I don't know you personally, but I appreciate you stepping up and speaking, because a lot of people like myself keep their mouth shut so you can keep getting your check.
Right. But
I respect.
You got the ones that live out loud, and those ones push agendas and make change sometimes, man. So
Yeah, shout out to her, man.
My mouth shut too. I was just trying to handle my business.
Right.
I ain't too much attention. I was like, yo, I just need to. I already got enough stress through this whole 400. Like, train my business. But I mean, you get to appreciate the people who not afraid is to stand up and speak their voice. And some people are just like that. They don't feel any type of pressure from living out loud or speaking out loud. But then you have some people that if they feel like they do that, they have to
compromise.
Yeah, you kind of compromise or all this type of stuff. So I respect it.
Yeah, man. So we got word association. So I'm gonna just shoot the word to you, and you don't have to shoot one word, but just let me know what you're thinking when you hear this word.
Okay.
All right. First word, Virginia.
Athletes.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna say home.
No, I think
athletes.
Home too,
yeah, because you got Mike Vick, you got you got so many.
First, you got
Noah Lyles.
Right now, hurdler. I can't think. 100 hurdler guy who went from Florida.
Dominic Holloway.
Holloway.
Yeah, I ran in his meet last year. The Grant. He has a indoor meet where it's called the Grant Holloway Holiday meet. Yeah, I ran that. Now I'm not gonna tell you I went like 6'9", but
hey, ain't no thing. Hey, you out there?
I had the wheels going, man.
Yeah, but I would say home. I would say athletes at home.
Athletes at home. Bet. Okay. Yeah, man. Okay. Favorite comedian.
I like Chris Tucker.
Oh man! Come on, man. What about me? I was hoping you said me. Like, oh man, damn.
Next, my new favorite.
Right, cool.
When I was young.
So all right, so now speed.
When the first thing comes to mind with speed, I think of angles.
Got you.
I think of angles.
Okay. Next one is car.
Rose.
Wow. I'm thinking you're going to say Lamborghini or something. You said Rolls Royce. Nice. All right.
See, I say, so this the difference, right? That's the difference between a sprinter and a 400 guy.
Right.
I'm thinking fast. I'm thinking cruise luxury 400, get around, boom. Not too much. It's just style, get around.
Going back to that jazz. Going back to that jazz.
Yep.
Man, okay. And the last word is family.
Love.
Nice.
Love and support, man. I've been fortunate enough to have two great parents, mom and dad. My mom always told me to go out and have fun. My dad has always told me, even when I won the Olympics, he couldn't be, boy, that was good, but you ain't seen none yet. Boy, got something big. I'm like, yeah, I just won the Olympics. Hey, okay. So I still got a lot of life to live. And that's just the first step, first chapter in life, man. So I look to inspire. I look to motivate. I look to learn more about myself on this journey of life, and just give as much as I can, because I start to notice as much when I think about giving, the universe gives me. And that's been happening in my life. The more I give, the more I tend to receive. And the stars align, and I just got to stay the course, just like I did in this first chapter with track, man. So family has always been love and support for me.
Man, deep.
Yep.
Yeah. So now we got verses, man. This is kind of like barbershop talk on this one. But I always wanted to know, So MJ versus LeBron. Who are you going with?
I grew up in that MJ area, man. I grew up in the MJ. I'm going to go MJ.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Bulls or Golden State?
Golden State.
But the Bulls got two three-peats.
They do, man. They do.
But Golden State
played each other at the same time. I would say, I'm only going to say Golden State because
Yeah, they killed it though, the way they won it though, right?
And they was just so strong. The
And then
Bulls
they
too.
got KD though.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they
No,
won without KD.
you right. You right.
Yeah. So
So
I, I'm with you.
they handled it.
Right. All right. So now Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather?
mm.
Who would you pick to be the actual GOAT?
Because I am a person of like character, um, and I understand how character can see both of them got their own. I listened to both of them the night before I ran a competition. Before I ran, I always listened to athletes in individual sports, the greats in the individual sport, because they would just interviews of them or whatever, because it come from a different place than team sport. You know, it gives you this extra fire. But I would say, who's the GOAT? I'm
Hey,
okay. I'm gonna go Muhammad
E. Diamond
Ali.
said Ali was an activist.
I'm gonna go Ali. Ali had a lot to deal with, a lot more to deal with, I feel like, just in life in general than Mayweather.
Yeah.
So all around, Ali had to hold it together in some times and execute in totally different era, but I still like Ali.
Vet. All right. This is a good one. Sidney McLarkin or Camacho Quinn?
Sydney or Camacho. Um,
They both went to Kentucky.
yeah.
Both hurdlers.
Man, Sydney tough, man. I remember when Sydney was young and she was I'm gonna say Sydney. Just I had a relationship with Sydney. Sydney and Pascal. Sydney used Dave Pascal early on in her career.
Dr.
So,
Pascal was in the live today. Did you
oh,
see?
okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, but he was in the middle of some good knowledge, man. So
Okay.
but Doc was in here checking you
There
out.
it is. So I'm gonna say I like Sydney. I like Sydney, man. Sydney tough, man. Sydney about business. She don't show a lot of emotion. She tough from a young age. I've seen her come up when she was 16, getting chiropractic work with Pascal. Both of us in the tent at the same time. Her being nervous
Hey,
wreck.
hey, hey, this dude, hey man, get off my list, dog. That was coming up.
What's that? What it said?
Shelly Ann Fraser Price or Elaine Thompson era.
I grew up with my early years was with Shelly, and then Elaine came. I'm gonna rock with Shelly. I'm gonna rock with the OG. I'm gonna stick with the OG.
Right. All right, now sitcoms or stand-up comedy?
I can do stand up. I like stand up. I like stand up.
Yeah.
Push you in the moment. It gets you there.
Yeah, man.
The comedian has to have it all together. It's that all or nothing one shot. I mean, I guess you can play with it, but it reminds me of the sport. It's just you got to get up there. You got to be brave. You got to deliver.
Right, it's just you.
That's you. Yeah.
Right.
I
So
like that.
since we're talking about it, we are into the 2024 coming up. I know it's weird because I know you'd be like, man, around this time I usually be working in here and there. I know you are happy where you are in your life, but who do you have picked to win the 400 meters 2024?
I don't know.
It's wide open, huh?
Yeah, Stevie had a injury this year. You never know how fast Stevie will run. Norman wasn't around. Michael Norman wasn't around much.
Right.
Van Niekerk is kind of still dealing with injury. I feel like it's wide open.
It's wide open.
Yep.
Now, do you watch do you believe Noah Lyles is going to win the 1 and the 2 again at the Olympics? Or do you think DeGrasse is going to win the 200?
The 200, I feel like Noah may have a better chance than running winning the 2 than the 100.
Okay.
But he's strong, man. He's strong. He brings it, man. He
Yeah,
gets into this whole character and he uses it. He studies character. He studies this animation. He's like he draws and build Legos, so he's detailed and off the track. So I can only imagine how detailed he is on the track. And he watches superpower hero stuff, so he's ingesting it through his sight and his vision and his soul, and he becomes this superhero type of person. So with that chip on his shoulder, and if he's able to stay grounded and continue to execute, man, I feel sky's the limits for him. I love Degrassi. He always shows up at big competitions.
he does.
He don't do a lot through the season, but when it's time to handle business, he usually handles it.
Yeah, he's a big time performer.
He is a big time performer, man.
Now, who do you have to win the women's 100? Sharika Jackson, Elaine Thompson, or Sha'Carri Richardson?
I'm gonna say Sha'Carri. I'm going with hometown.
Hey,
I trained with Sha'Carri. Man, let me tell you, I trained with Sha'Carri a couple of years ago. I was with Dennis, my last year training almost. I had that toe injury. I just couldn't get back. Right. But
she's a beast.
Man, when I say she can pick him up and put him down, man, with some power, some force, some ferocity, with attitude, with execution, with grit, with the will to win. It doesn't matter her getting the race and putting it all together, but the desire, I feel like she got what it takes. And she's from America, so I'm gonna ride with it.
I'm with you on that too. I believe she's gonna win. Now I talked a lot of shit. I did, yo, and I apologize. Sha'Carri, if you watching this interview, I'm sorry. I was talking shit about your nails. I was talking about your fishnet. I was talking about your weave. I was like, you just take all that shit off. She could win it. I was talking shit. So I'm sorry, Sha'Carri. You proved me wrong. I respect what you're doing. And yeah, we got you picked favorite to win the Olympics.
Yeah. And she worked hard too. I've seen her work. She actually in the weight room, in the gym, on the track, she put the work in, man. So I respect
I mean, you can see it. You know, she don't have like an ounce of fat on her.
Yeah.
I just believe that she's one of those people that, you know how like when you get older and you be like, what are these young people doing?
yeah.
You know, that's what I was. I was the old dude like, what are they young? They don't fish that. We don't fish that. We don't, you know.
Right.
I was the old guy looking at how, when really she's getting more popularity to our
be herself.
And then when she said, "That's right, I'm gonna be back. I ain't done." I was like, "Man, she sounded like Nicki Minaj." Yeah. She said, "We're not done." You know, and you know, and the Jamaicans was like, "Hey, I want that." And then all of a sudden, now, a whole year later, boom, beat everybody.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they let her win. She snatched it out of lane 8.
Yeah, she claimed it, man.
Yeah, man. So much respect to Sha'Carri, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, what would you want your legacy to be? Ultimately,
I want it to be known for the length of time spent in the sport, dedicated to the sport, which was 17 years at the highest level. Even if I wasn't performing or hurt that year, I was still putting in the work that year on the highest intense work. So from 18 to 30, whatever, I think I calculated it, the time that I was actually training was actually 17 years.
Man.
And just being a guy who always had great character, a competitor, and just a good guy. And it was a good guy who was blessed with a talent and maximized it. A good guy who noticed the gift early and continued to focus on improving that, maximized it, and now trying to give as much as I can to the world in the
Man,
middle of realizing who I am and how I can inspire and motivate.
nice. Now, I coach a lot of kids and I speak as well.
Hmm.
And if you have a message, you know, because I know we're about to wrap it up, but what message do you have for the youth that are trying to get to your level? Not only because you were 18, bro.
Right.
Like, I remember meeting you and your parents,
Yeah. Yeah,
and,
man.
and we were
I'm
on the
30.
pro circuit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm like, yo, this dude is the real deal. So, you know, and there are a lot of NIL deals now where kids
Yeah.
can get paid in high school, they can get paid in college. What message do you have for them? Because you're one of the first guys to go from a kid to
Right.
the pros before the NIL. Like, you
Right.
know, what message do you have for the youth, man?
The ones who without the opportunities to get the NIL deal, I'll say that it's a hard sport. It's a great sport because it teaches character, that accountability, and learning about yourself, getting in contact with your inner voice, which hopefully is positive. It If you don't get to my level, then the sport will prepare you for life. You know, it's a lot that you go through in training that it ain't for everybody. You know, that highest level is not for everybody, but it's a beautiful sport. If you take it serious, you'll learn a lot about yourself that you can apply to any other lane in life. So, but the ones who are at the level of getting that NIL deal and getting the money, and I would say continue to do the basics. Uh, Continue to have the will to improve. I would say it's a world of distractions right now. So if you're thinking about being professional or being at a certain level, it starts before you get there. So learning how to be what you want to be matters. So
Mm,
start being professional, start being respectful. Character matters, and be intentional. You know, within this sport, especially, I never was on a huge team. So I never had this team camaraderie where I was distracted by my teammates. So I
mm,
was put in situations early on from high school to when I turned pro that it was intentional, and work would be exposed because there wasn't a lot of people at the office. It was maybe me and somebody else, or just me a lot of times. So I let them know it's a tough sport. Learn accountability, learn business, learn financial literacy, and just focus on being your best self. Don't look too far ahead. If you focus on being your best self, which is showing up prepared for whatever you got to do, strengthening your physical and developing that muscle memory, but strengthening your mind too, because you can train all you want to and this and that and get in a line and lose it mentally.
mm.
So focus on that and train. I feel like coaches should focus on some type of mental aspect of the race a lot more than the physical, or even just as much. I don't know what that looks like,
Hmm.
because me as a pro, I've even stepped up to the line and forgot that I did workouts. I don't know how I did. I stepped up to the line before. I could just flush over my body, but then I tap right into it like, yo, I'm here in this moment for a reason. I'm here. So I feel like something needs to be done. And over the years, with the mental health and people coming out and talking about how they're stressed here as much as their body is stressed, but they don't get a lot of work done here. I feel like there needs to be work done mentally, which is missing. So with staying humble, always being prepared, paying attention to details, keeping love and support around you, having fun with it. All these things matter. It's not just getting in training, running, and you doing whatever afterwards. The rest and recovery is just as important as the workouts. That's huge. The training, the drills, the form and technique is important. The muscle memory is real. If you do it sloppy in training, you can't expect your body to do something correct when it's time to execute. It just don't work like that.
Nice.
So I know that was a lot, but
No,
in
that was
the
great.
nutshell, just handle your business and be intentional with things in life.
Man, well, look, I appreciate you for coming on the show, brother.
No problem, man.
Everybody, y'all can catch the live. I'll leave it up for a couple of days, but then you can catch it on Spotify and YouTube on for the Bernard Williams Stay in Your Lane Show podcast. And we are signing out with my
Yes, sir.
brother, 2008 Olympic champ, 2009 world champ, silver medalist, bronze medalist, like I said, entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
Lashawn Merritt, good human being, good Samaritan. Are you thinking about writing a book, brother?
I am. I'm also thinking about doing a series of kids books. So
nice.
I got some different things coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shoot, bro. Like I look forward to having you on the show again, and I also look forward to doing some speed clinics as well, brother.
Yeah, man. Definitely. We will definitely link up.
Yeah, they said, Lashawn, we want to see you more on IG often.
All right.
Yeah, man. Well, look, thanks for giving us your time, brother. I really appreciate you and the knowledge you dropped today and just hearing your story. I look forward to seeing more from you, and much love to you, brother.
Appreciate it, Big. I'll talk to you soon. And
all right.
I appreciate everybody for being tuned in.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace, y'all.